Hello, Grid. This is Danielle Palloschi-Browne and Raj Tamang, and we are here with our blueprint and construction series. Specifically, we're going to continue our discussion about architectural drawings and what you can find on them from Raj, who is an engineer and a developer. So I know that I've already been learning so much from this and how to read all of this and permits and plans. So I'm excited to continue our conversation, picking up from where we were last time. So here, I'm going to help you share your screen, Raj. And so what is the elevator? What are we looking at here?
Okay, so this one is a first floor plan. So this is the plan, right? So this is a basement plan. This is a two-story house with a basement, right? Single family house. Let me see the rendering. This is how the house looks like in rendering. So this is a first floor, second floor, and you have a buried basement. And this is actually a walkout basement, but that's mostly two-story. I don't know, this screen share thing coming in. Okay. So this is a basement plan, right? So we continue. Some of the things you have to remember, we already say dimensions has to be clearly marked. From outside to outside, or where the windows are. So you have to remember with this plan, someone or a contractor should be able to build the house, right? So make sure, think about all the information you have to put in the drawing so that they can understand clearly. So always, that's the perspective. You understand it as a designer or architect, you understand it because you design it, but you have to think that the contractor who is actually building it, can he understand it, right? That's the thing. That's how I see it when I prepare the plan. All the dimension information should be there. So one of the things I want to talk about is doors and windows, which is very important for any house. And especially these days, everybody wants this open concept, a lot of doors and windows. So those information
as open as possible.
Right. So everybody wants a lot of doors and windows.
Desire to live in a glass box.
Correct. Yeah. But again, there's so much you can do. If you want to, you have to remember this is light frame construction, which is wood construction. So with wood construction, there is so much doors and windows, glass you can put or design, because you have to have a certain amount of solid wall in the house. So that's from the design perspective. You have to think about it, not just when you design the whole building, we call it gravity load, which is the live load, is the people living in the house. It's a dead load. We call it weight of the structure itself. In our area, this is Coast snow load, right? You have to also consider that in the design. But also another load, we call it lateral load, which is wind. So in our area, you have to design a building for wind, which is a lateral load. Wind can blow in any direction. So because weight of the structure and the live load is always towards the center, down towards the center of the earth. So that's always unilateral, one direction. But wind it can blow any direction.
Yeah.
Okay?
True.
Same way. So if we design the house here in East Coast, we design for wind, but you go California, maybe you design for a seismic earthquake. So they don't have to design for the wind, but earthquake is something they have to design. So all of them, earthquake and wind has a very similar effect in terms of how the building will react in case of high wind versus your earthquake, right? In the earthquake, your building is in place and your ground is moving, where in wind, the ground is stable in one place, but then because of the wind, it's trying to move the building lateral directions. Same way, you have to think about if you have a building sitting on the ground and the ground is moving, so the building also try to move on the lateral direction, right? So you have to be laterally stable when your ground or support is moving. Same way, the effect is when the wind hits the building. So building also try to resist that lateral load. So that's more like a design perspective. So what I'm trying to say, if you want a lot of doors and windows, and you can do it, but not so much possible with the wood frame construction, So with frame construction, there is certain amount of solid wall you need in the house. But if you want everything glasses, then instead of wood, we may have to do steel. And your cost is almost 5 times, 10 times. So, but there's always trade in. But it just, in terms of residential new construction or renovation construction with frame, those are the things you have to keep in mind. So let's say this is the basement plan, which is a concrete wall. Okay, so I have an 8-inch concrete wall. And you're saying, what is that information here? It says 8-inch concrete wall. This is a structural information. You have to go to structural drawing because this is basement plan, it's architectural plan. Now, any structural information like how thick is concrete wall is, what's the reinforcing, what's the footing thickness, all that information you have to go to the structural drawings, right? So right now in architectural only, which is a basement plan, some other thing you have to remember, this in this basement, you have a 1-bedroom. This is a walk-in closet and bathroom, right? This kind of shows you have a vanity, toilet. This is a shower. So usually you have a bench here in this house for the shower, right? Walk-in closet. So if you look at this bedroom in the basement, so as I said, this side on the back is walkout, but the 3 sides at the front and side is buried. Means when you have this bedroom, when you call out bedroom in the basement, you have to have an egress doors and windows. Doors, of course, here, but the idea is in case of emergency, let's say there's a fire in the house, you should be able to skip from the window, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you have to think about it. If it is a walkout basement, no problem. You just open the door, run away. But the thing is, bedroom, you have to remember that egress has to be window here, because what if, of course, you have a door here. You could always open a door and you get out, come out from this door. What if you have a fire, everything is going on in this area? You can't come out.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to use this window as your egress window. With that, there's a minimum size of the door, minimum size of the window, so that when you open the window should be minimum opening width so that you can get out. So there's a certain requirements. Code will tell you what needs to be done. And when you come out, like I said, let's say you have a window here. So when I say 3052 DH, so that means 3 foot wide, 5 foot 2 inch high. D has been double hung.
Oh, got it. For the window type.
The window type, exactly. It could be casement window, fixed window, there are different windows. So I'm saying double hung, 30 means 3 foot wide, 52 means 5 foot 2 inch tall, right? So
and a 3 foot wide window, is that considered kind of like a standard size window, or would that be custom?
No, this is okay. This is standard. It could be 2 by 8, 2 by 10, 2 feet 8, 2 by 10, 2 feet 10.
Mostly I was curious because of like in other episodes we've talked about cost, and when things are not of standard sizes, how they can how they can incur additional costs. So it's good to know that the egress, the window itself, can be a standard size.
Correct. So these are the minimum. So when you have it, make sure that you have all the dimensions and the openings are, that meet the code requirements. So once you come out, you have to think, well, let's say I have a window here, then you have to come out. Then you have to have a window well enough so you can get out, right? So minimum is you need 3 foot wide, 3 foot by 3 foot. And when you come out, usually you have a ladder here. From the ladder, you come out.
Yep.
Okay. That's the egress window, but I'll share with you something here. So it's an emergency escape and rescue opening, which is the egress window in Fairfax County, right here. So they have this 2 page literature you can download for free. And this is basically for basement window. It will tell you what's the minimum size, what's the location. One thing I can tell you, for example, so this is the cross section. This is a room. This is the window. This is a window well. Okay, that's what the cross section shows. So one of the requirements from the floor to the window sill, this is a window sill, this is a window header, right? So window sill from the floor has to be less than 44 inches. So see, 44 inches. Because window
like
sill is too high, means you have to get out. You have to go through the door. You have to window. So that's the 44 inch is the maximum you can have. So you can have lower, but in 44 inch the minimum you need. And these are all the minimum dimensions of the openings of the window. You cannot just pull a smaller window and call out this is egress. These are the minimum requirements.
Yep.
So you have to remember, when I have a double hung window, double hung means the upper sash and lower. The upper sash, no, lower sash, you can move up, right? You slide up. That means even if my window is 5 foot tall, actual opening is only halfway, right? Because the panel is still there. So this is what it is. This is a 5 foot window, but this is, let's say, double hung. So this is the lower sash, this is upper sash, this lower sash you slide up. So this is your net opening, not entire area, because you still have a glass here. So you cannot consider that as an opening. So this minimum area, it needs to be minimum 24 inch high and 20 inch width. That's the minimum, the opening, clear opening.
So just a size that fits a person through. Like that's where a lot of these codes came from, is to make sure that someone can fit in and out
Looks
easily.
like you're back, man.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, okay.
It had frozen.
So does that make sense? That's the egress window. So, but again, we are in the basement. So we have exercise room. You have to clearly call out the doors and windows, right? So here, let's say bedroom back here, when you say 210, 6, 8, means this is a door, 2 foot 10 inch wide and 6 foot 8 inch is high. The 6 foot 8 inch is about 80 inch, right? Door is the standard height. And if you look at this one, I'm telling you, this door, when you have a door type, you have to have an in-swing, out-swing, right hand, or left hand. You have to remember left hand or right hand, in-swing or out-swing. So this one, you have to remember it's opening inside the room. So it's an in-swing. So basically what you have, the way to find out is, let's say this side is hinge, okay? So this is the hinge side. So you have to go and stand here, facing this way, okay? That's how I do it. Easy way to find out. All that right and left and in and out. You go here and stand and look this way. So now your right hand is on this side. So this is a right hand door. And it's swinging in size, so it's in swing. So this is right hand in swing. So look at the other one here. This one is my exercise room here. Now hinge is here. I have to stand here, look this way. So the door is opening on the left side. So this is the left hand in swing because this is still inside the room. We're talking about a door here. Let's go. This door. This is the door. Going from family room to the deck, right? So here, you stand here, and this is right hand. So this is right hand in swing.
So it's really based on how you would open the door into the room or into
Correct.
the building.
So that's how I understood, So typically you have, in terms of operation, how the door would operate is in swing or out swing, right hand or left hand. That's how when you order the window or door, that's how you're gonna tell them. Let's say you can give them a drawing and do it. But again, if you need to order the door, you just say, I need a 2 foot 10 inch door, 6 feet 8 inch high, in swing, right hand, or whatever it is. So that's how it comes, and of course I have a window here, double window, because this is a walkout basement. So I didn't have to. I have a double hung window, big window, but I don't have window well because this side is walkout. More light.
Got it.
And of course you have a wet bar. This is of course schematic. It doesn't have to be 100%, but if you planning to have a wet bar, it's better to show on the plan, because you can't go ahead and build it. Usually the inspector or reviewer, they are not going to accept it. So at least it's schematic. It doesn't have to be final design, but hey, you have a wet bar. So when you pull a permit, you have to say wet bar is included on a permit.
Got it.
Typically in Fairfax County, 2 kitchens are not allowed. In Arlington, they allow it. In Fairfax County, they don't allow it. The reason is it's a single family house, means one family is supposed to live, not 2 or 3 family. So if you have one family, you assume that you just need 1 kitchen. And if you build a kitchen in the basement, let's say kitchenette, they're gonna think, okay, you're trying to maybe rent out. You're not supposed to rent the house, right? While you can rent the whole house, but you can't just live in the house, rent. So that becomes in a different category. So they don't, but again, there is an exception to the rule, always. So sometimes you say, hey, I have a whole in-laws, they want to live in the basement, they don't want to come up, I need a kitchen. That's fine. You have to apply for exception and request. They usually approve that.
Oh, okay.
But you cannot say, hey, I want to have a kitchen, completely kitchen just for that purpose.
Yeah, it's what I've seen a lot of is there's a lot of wet bar designs in basements and in auxiliary units above garages, or in basements as well, or things like that. And they will exclude a stove in particular. So any thoughts that you have on, as long as it doesn't include a stove, it's not a kitchen, or are there other things that really should be kept in mind in this like kitchenette design? Because everyone's always curious, like what's going to pass inspection? What's going to get away? What's going to get through the inspection process?
Correct. But also this is the deal. So this house, I'm on the first floor.
Yeah.
And if you look at, this is the kitchen here. Okay. Right? I have a second kitchen here. It's called a prep kitchen. Because a lot of family, they want to actually cook here. They also call it dirty kitchen too. You actually cook it here. This place is mostly, just to show. Maybe you want to one up the burger or something like that. You want to do quick something. Here, a lot of family who cook, they want to have a separate kitchen here. So this does not count like in separate to family. This is like prep kitchen. They allow it, even though you have a stove, everything. That's okay. It's just like completely in the second floor. You don't expect to cook in the basement and bring to the to the first floor. They will not accept it unless you say, hey, the purpose is this. Okay, I have in-laws or maybe someone in the family who cannot go up and down, stuff like that. You can, but think this one you don't need any exception. This is just a prep kitchen. You have a 2 kitchen here. It's obvious, right? You're not gonna have a 2 family cook here and cook here. So things like that they allow it, but other things you have to be careful. So you see the recreational room, and for example, this is a door, 12-feet door. You come out, this is the 12 feet wide and 6 foot 8 inch tall, and you have a 4 panels. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually, these last 2 panels are fixed, and the mid 2 are there sliding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is one big door, but fixed panels at the end, movable on the middle. So when you say that's a total width is 12 feet and 6 foot 8 is the height, TMPR means temper. So there's sometimes you have to do the temper means tempered glass. Because you have to remember the difference between a regular glass and tempered glass is the tempered glass is for the safety glass. We also call it safety. For example, your car
it doesn't
windshield.
shatter.
Correct. Windshield. Those are tempered glass, right? Somebody, you are driving, somebody throws a rock or something happens, the glass do not scatter and become hazard. So if it is a temper, it's gonna break, but it's not gonna scatter, right? It's gonna still be in place and miss. So if you have a door like this, you have to have a temper also, okay? And also the window, let me go back to the window here. Or this window could be also on a first floor or second floor. So the regular window, they are regular window, it's not tempered, right? It's regular window, it's a glass but not tempered. But if the window sill is less than 18 inches, then glass has to be tempered. That's part of the requirement. But and you're thinking, hey, why don't we do temper everywhere? Yeah, you can, but the cost is double. It's not cheap. So tempered glass is almost double the cost. So you try to avoid having a tempered glass. But again, in places like where, like you say, if the window sill is less than 18 by code, you need it. Right?
And that's just for safety. So it doesn't explode onto somebody if it got hit or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the door, of course, any glass door, French door, that should be also tempered, of course, because there is no window sill. It's right there on ground. And some of the things I'm going to explain to you. I'm jumping ahead because we're talking about egress. So this is second floor. This is a bedroom, okay? So this is a bedroom, walk-in closet. This is a door. You have a bathroom. So here I have a 3 foot wide, 5 foot 2 inch double hung. And here I have inside the bathroom, I have a smaller window. And this is 3 foot by 4 foot, 4 foot, tall, 3 foot. It's a casement, but I'm doing temper. So it's not necessarily I'm doing temper because window sill is less than 18. It's not. The window sill is more than 18 inches, okay, from the ground, from the floor. But you have to think about this on this door. When you open it, if you are not careful, you may just bang. You know what I'm saying? You may just break the glass. So these locations, even though I don't have to, because how you have installed the door, left hand in swing, the door may hit the glass. So that glass has to be tempered.
That makes a lot of sense. So any place that you think is in a high traffic area or in a place where another mechanical or something like a door could hit it, you really might want to consider spending a little bit more money on something like tempered glass. Because one, it could be more durable, and two, it could just be safer overall.
Yes, but also this is not even a matter of choice. It's required by code. You have to do it. Yeah. So even one of the things is stairs. For example, this is the stairs. Going down from second floor to the basement, and I have a landing here. I have a glass. By code, these are, even though you usually, if it is less than 18 inches, you have to do it anyway. But even not, by code recommends having temper on the area, on the stairs. So those are the things you have to clearly note on your plan. Otherwise, reviewer are not going to approve it. So you have to say which are the regular doors and windows, or which ones are tempered, which ones are Casement and double hung, reviewer, they don't really care. But the temper safety glasses, you have to clearly note wherever it apply, because he's gonna look at it in the bathroom, and this is how you have, and you say, okay, this is 3 foot by 4 foot casement window, and you don't call out temper, he's not gonna approve it. He knows that your door is opening on this side,
Yeah. And it's little things like that that add up throughout the entire permit review process and plan review process with the county. Getting pushed back because of something small like that can really cost you a lot of time and a lot of money if you're not careful with some of these nuances that really need to be included.
Correct, yes. So that's why, like I say, in Fairfax County, when I do it, my permit, I'm getting feedback from a lot of other reviewers and builders. Usually my process, our company does very quick, because I know what they are looking for. And these are the things they will look for. So when you submit all the information, complete package, is really come back, And so, but once you just send it out, whatever you think is you have ready, and they will send you a bunch of comments and going back and forth. That's why you waste everybody's time. So my philosophy is try to give them everything they needed, but don't give it too much, because then if you start giving too much of details and notes, you start opening a can of worms, So give them enough so that they have all the information to understand it, but don't give enough so that they start questioning you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a very fine line of enough versus too much.
Too much, yes. On the construction sometimes. Yes, in construction, sometimes the contractor, they need some additional detail. You can always sketch up and give them the detail during construction, but not necessarily you have to include those on the permit drawings when you apply for a permit. So I would say these are the things, like I said, you have to have all the drawings, all the dimension clearly marked, all the doors and windows are clearly marked, their sizes, their locations, tempered glass, sliding door, casement windows, if you have French door, all this information has to be clearly marked. And like, for example, I have a fireplace here, right? I put a fireplace. What else? So from here, you come out, I have a concrete patio. I put a concrete patio. So this concrete patio, I'm showing on architectural, but you have to also show in the grading plan, okay? Because this concrete patio is like impervious area. Means when it rains, water will not go through this area. So that area will cause flooding, right? The runoff. So all of a sudden, because of the concrete patio, there would be more water runoff. So the civil engineer, when they design a stormwater management system, they have to consider this. Nowadays, there are some patios, those instead of doing concrete, you can have some permeable ones, so it doesn't look like a concrete, but you can do some mix. So when it's raining, it's not really become a runoff. It may infiltrate, right? Go inside the ground. Those are okay.
Like cedar stones and things like that.
Yeah, I've seen a driveway sometime, parking lot in the front of the house or back. Those things you have to do it, but again, you clearly mark this on the plan. What else here? So this is a storage room, utility, sump pump, water heater. But this is a utility plus storage. If you pay attention here, so this is a concrete wall, and inside this is 2x4 wall, flooring wall, right? 2x4, because for the drywall to finish and do the insulations. So usually you have to put R13 insulation in the basement finished area. But if you look at the utilities room, I don't have that wall. See, it's just a concrete wall. Yeah. Why? Because utility room is not a control room. This is like uncontrolled space. Not uncontrolled, but not climate controlled versus not controlled. So utility room doesn't have to be climate controlled. Even if you do, your insulation requirements is not the same as other room. So that's why if you see it, I'm not showing that 2x4 footing wall. So the insulation have to provide it in the basement, right? So that's usually R13. So which is inside, you see this is 2x4 wall. But here you do I think 11, but blanket. You see that's a blanket, right? So you screw or nail it into the concrete wall, but you still have to provide the insulation, but not, those are cheaper, R11 blanket. So you do blanket here. This is regular insulation. So I'll also give you, talking about it. So for example, this is the section, entire wall section, right?
So it's very cool that it also breaks it down into like a subsection.
Yes.
Of like exactly what it's composed of, where that is, how thick those sections are.
Yeah, this detail you have to provide it. So, they say what's the concrete. So you have a 2x6. If you look at the detail here, I'm saying 2x6 wood is start 16 inches on center. Then as R13 bad insulation, I have a gypsum wall board, concrete foundation wall, waterproofing outside, seal plate, all these details, you have to put it there, right? You have to show it here, concrete slab and grade. So this is always in the buried basement. The water is the issue because, when you have a buried basement, there will be water around the house and the concrete wall. The water has to be collected outside the footing like this, see? Drain pipe around the building, outside. And you also have inside, and they are connected together with 2-inch weep hole every 8 inches on center. And what happened, all the water from outside is collected, and then they are taken into inside, and from here it goes to the sump pump. One of the trick I've seen many is that these weep holes, if you don't put this weep hole correctly, remember, you collect the water, but there is not weep holes. So how are you going to take it inside? You're in trouble now. So, but this is the deal. This is only 2-inch PVC pipe. If you are not being careful when you pour the slab, you can easily block the hole, clog. So I always say to my project manager, before you pour this concrete slab on the basement, make sure you go there. And this is clear everywhere. You have to put a rod and make sure it's completely clear and everything is properly connected where it's supposed to be. Then pour the slab. But because after you pour the slab, it's too late.
Yeah, you can't go back and put the weep holes in.
Yeah, unless you tear about the whole thing. So, so I think that's what I would say. It's almost 1:54, 32 minutes. I mean, as I say again, we can continue this one for another freaking 2 weeks, 2 months. I don't know. Well, we have not even gone past this basement plan.
Absolutely. Well, and we've really focused predominantly on the basement plan and everything that has to go into those components. So, and we've gone through a lot of those over the past couple of weeks. So like in terms of the reading of the blueprints, I think we've done a pretty encompassing job of everything you really need to know when you're looking at blueprints, what those mean, what the terminology means, and what you need to include in a permit packet. So we're going to continue our conversation next week with some more details and some more information to kind of finalize and finish up our blueprint and architectural drawing series. But if you have any questions, please do leave it in the comments, and then we'll make sure that we answer any of your questions next week when we're back.
Yeah, sounds good then.
Awesome.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Raj.
you.
Next week. Bye.